And we actually found that those with more body checking experience actually had higher rates of both injury and concussion. This actually goes against what was kind of thought by some in the community that they would be protected, but it wasn't so.
There's long been two schools of thought when it comes to body checking in youth hockey. If you learn it earlier, you stave off injuries later on, but other people think you should hold off on it altogether. But now there's a new study from the University of Calgary that shows it may not matter how much experience you have in body checking in order to avoid injuries.
At the under 18 group, we looked at those that had 3 or more years of body checking experience compared to those that had 2 years or less. And now both of those actually telling us similar things here, that just more body checking experience is not protective against injury or concussion.
Already, Hockey Calgary doesn't allow body checking in under 13 leagues, and Hockey Alberta doesn't allow it in some leagues up to U15, although they do recommend teaching players proper technique. Hockey Calgary adds that since removing body checking, they've seen an increased focus on skill and higher level of play.
I think there's more of an emphasis on skill and skill development, so we see a quicker, faster game at that level. And then when you enter into the U15 and U18 levels, where body check is permitted, that's where we believe the kids are big enough, strong enough, and have the cognitive abilities to protect themselves and to learn body checking.
And we have to look longer term when thinking about reducing injuries in young players.
Concussion was actually accounted for about a third of all injuries in this particular analysis. And we know that those that have a previous history of concussion are at more risk of, or higher risk of a future concussion. And we know that about a third of youth who experience a concussion will go on to have long-term symptoms from this concussion lasting longer than a month.
And while this study only focuses on hockey, it could also help inform policies for other youth sports.
That was very contentious 10 years ago in youth ice hockey. So I think it's time to have that conversation, maybe to examine other sports, and see if it's appropriate for body contact, let's say, whether that should be permitted at certain age groups or levels of play.
And Hockey Canada also does not allow checking until U15 at most levels, but non-contact options remain available for all age divisions. In Calgary, Tom Ross, City News.